Alright, what is up guys? Mimco40 here. A little while ago you guys heard me mention the fairy tale archetype coming out in English, and I wanted to have a short little discussion with you guys about what we're kind of thinking that they could possibly do, what fairy tales that they can actually cover, and just a little bit of that. Now, when you say a fairy tale archetype to me, you make me think that you're going to go through all American folklore. You know, fucking Rapunzel, you know, Sleepy Hollow as well. At least not so much fairy tale, but I mean, I'd kind of fucking shit my pants if we had like a Four Horsemen type of archetype and shit like that. That'd be fucking absolutely phenomenal. You know, you got the Seven Dwarves, you know, Little Red Riding Hood. You know, there's all kinds of things that you could do. But to me, when you say an archetype of fairy tales, you know, you're going to pull from everything. Now, this can be comprised of pretty much all those little fairy tales, you know, you heard growing up. I would personally love it if we had a story of the three pigs with the big bad wolf trying to bullet out their house. You know, a little bit more comical things here. But I don't know if that's going to be the case, though. We'd also have to look at possible construction of card effects and overall things like that that you can honestly do for archetypes like that. And to be completely honest with you, I mean, what's the one little pig gonna say? You know, you can bring it off of Obedient Schooled. You know, it'll be a flip effect when you flip it. Add two other little piggies from your deck to your hand. Or, you know, special summon them, you know, and then one of them will be like, if your opponent has the big bad wolf, this card can attack your opponent directly, or something like that, like, or if your opponent has the big bad wolf, you know, like, kill it. Like, there's little interesting things like this, you know. Little Red Riding Hood, you know, you can make the little basket be an equip spell to her. You know, same thing with Cinderella, you know, the glass boots and things like that. You know, just have some fun with it, you know. Also, when you say American fairy tale, you can't help me but think of Frozen now, because, you know, it seems to be the big thing now. But nonetheless, I'm definitely expecting, albeit probably another equip-based archetype, depending on how things are going to go. Obviously, they're going to be cards that are going to go combo-based with one another, you know, kind of like how the Burning Abyss archetype worked itself out. You know, like they could all special summon themselves, but if you had something that wasn't, you know, from Dante's Dream or whatever it was, it would pop itself, which honestly seemed very appropriate for what it was. Burning Abyss was very, very, very well designed, unlike the Noble Knights, and I hate taking that away from them, but they were kind of the trial run. Which, now going into the fairy tale archetype, either this fairy tale archetype is going to be tier 1 coming into the States, or it's going to flop miserably. And knowing that UAs were done at the same time as Burning Abyss, but Burning Abyss were done better, it's kind of disappointing. I mean, yeah, UAs are very good. They're getting more and more potential as we're going here. But just a couple more cards in the deck could be tier 1. But Burning Abyss was tier 1 right out of the floodgate. Like, those 5 cards that we had on the first initial setup was absolutely ridiculous. It was extremely overpowered. It was a very good deck. But looking at this fairy tale archetype and the continued UA support, BA, I believe, is done now. No more support from that. This archetype is either going to be a short little cluster of fairy tales, or they're going to release this as such a broad archetype that over time, you know, they can toss more into it. But same thing with UA, you know, it's pretty much an archetype based off American sports. Let's be absolutely real here. You know, Signing Deal was a very good fucking card. And once again, though, you know, as American culture and things grow, you know, they can add more into that, you know, sports, you know, maybe capture some of the better moments and things like that. But once again, though, the fairy tale aspect that I think they're going for is either going to be really broad or really big. Or broad, small, big, you know what I mean. So it'll be hit or miss, you know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not trying to be a critique or an asshole when I say that, but, you know, Konami, you have a really good potential here. Don't fuck it up. So guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys are thinking about the archetype support for Fairy Tale, and well, I'm out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please thumbs up this video to show your support. And please check out Vanguard for Cardfight Vanguard, mkohl Games for miscellaneous trading card games, and No Limit Gaming for a brand new series of Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks for watching.